for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Cheryl, can you take a roll call, please?
Joe Burden.
Here.
Dennis Gagnon.
Here.
Peter Lewis. Laura O'Connell. Here. Bob Lusardi.
Here.
Heidi Wendell.
Here.
Neil Zuckerman is not here.
Thank you. Can I get a motion for the approval of September's meeting minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Second? Anybody?
Here.
Okay. All in favor? Aye. We don't appear to have any current correspondence.
Just related to the Szypula, so Neil
Which-
usually has it just within
Okay.
there.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is the Szypula, that's for Cliffside. Ron, would you mind just walking us through why Margaret's back here again today?
Sure. The project's been before you multiple times in the past. When they originally appeared, the board initially made a negative secret declaration because of the minor size of the project. The board subsequently, with the assistance of the Conservation Board, then made a site inspection. Various comments came out of that to discuss possible redesign of the project. And it was also explained that the project could not be built in areas of 20% or greater slopes without the granting of a special permit to allow that work. This work alone is not permitted in regulated slopes unless a special permit is obtained. For tonight's meeting, the applicant has now filed a plan that complies with the special permit requirements, and it's for you to look at tonight to determine if that satisfies your obligations and then permits you to schedule a public hearing for the upcoming meeting.
Okay, thank you very much. Margaret, would you like to walk through the changes?
Sure. So, to show an alternative that complies, I showed an alternative. It's the same pond over here. This is the upper forebay sediment trap area, and then it would have a little waterfall, and then the same pond. This is in an area that has canopy and trees. More trees would have to be taken down to build it over here. It's also closer to the road. The area that we are selecting that needs the permit is in an area that is already devegetated, so we wouldn't have to take down trees except for one that's already dead. It's about the same area of disturbance, and you know the amount of disturbance is about the same, but the impact over here would be more to existing foliage and trees, and this is being built in an area that is not vegetated.
So all the components are the same as originally designed, the liner, everything?
Everything,
Pump.
yep.
So it's really just a matter of that being
Right, so in order
adjusted.
to be issued the permit that we're looking for, I have to show you an alternative that is compliant, and that's what I've shown you, an alternative that is compliant. And then the threshold would be that this is less impactful because we're not in an area where I'm gonna have to take down vegetation in order to build this pond. It's it's not as close to the road, it's behind the owner's home. Several other, those factors should be taken into consideration.
Ron, you had a chance, I'm assuming, to review the revised documents.
Again, the plan purports to identify an alternative layout that complies with the Section 175-36B7 requirements. But it's a matter for you, the planning board, to deliberate on what the applicant is proposing to determine if, in your view, it actually documents that the plan as proposed in the steep slopes is appropriate, or whether you'd rather see the alternative. But it certainly at least provides you with information that's required by code, and that's what you were seeking before you would schedule a public hearing.
Okay, so this project does require a public hearing?
Yes.
Okay. Is the board ready to schedule a public hearing? I guess take that, make a motion to,
I just wanted to ask Margaret a quick question, but I don't know if that's out of order.
why don't you ask your question?
Okay. So did you have any response to the Conservation Board's letter?
Yes, so I spoke with the company that builds this. The liner is put down to keep a barrier between the earth and the pond, but it is not, there's rocks put on top of that, so it is a natural pond, even though it has a liner. And it's recirculated, and that is one of the reasons that it has the liner, because it's not being fed from a natural source. It is a recirculating, so you have to keep the water in order to recirculate it. And if it went through into the earth, I'd have to continually put water in. Then the other question that they had was, are there plants in the lower pond? And there are plantings in the lower pond, because once they put the liner down and then they put rock and gravel and stone inside to make the bottom of the pond, there's pockets at the top where plants are dispersed, and they are important to the functioning of the pond. So there's plantings along in the pond.
And what is the liner made of again?
It's a rubber butyl, I can't ever say that word. It's a rubber liner.
So it's not plastic?
No, it's rubber.
But I was talking actually about, and I don't know if others have this. Yeah, go ahead, please, sorry, Dennis.
October 13th letter?
Yes, I was.
Okay, I just wanted to
Yeah,
clarify
yeah.
that.
So I know those were other issues that, then thank you, Margaret, but there was also a letter from October 13th about the alternative location.
That's what I'm showing now, is the alternative location. Sure. That's what I'm presenting to you on the screen now, is the alternate location.
Okay, and so is it your response to this letter? Is your response to this letter what you said earlier, that more trees would have to be cut down, et cetera? Okay, okay. I just wanted to make sure I understood that. Is that your complete response?
Yeah, yes, the alternative location, we believe, has less impact to the environment than the compliant one.
Okay, so I have one more question. So where is the water coming from again?
The what?
I'm sorry, the water?
The water. The water is initially brought in probably in a tanker truck, or could be filled from their well, but it's once the pond is built, they bring water in, and then it's recirculated.
Okay, because I mean, so it would not be filled ever from the water available at the site, right? Because we are having a drought, and so I was just grabbing the email I got from, I live in Nelsonville, from the village hall, that said, you cannot fill swimming pools, please do not use water. You know, you have to be careful with water right now here. And so the water will all be coming in from an outside area?
Yeah, it'll
Okay.
come in on a truck.
Okay.
At least the initial fill.
And then subsequently, it would always be filled from outside, from a
If
truck?
there's evaporation, but when it rains, that replenishes the water too.
Okay.
Okay, can I get a motion to schedule or feedback? I'm sorry.
Sorry, I just have one other question, and this is a Ron question. So, Ron, the Conservation Board letter basically says that if we are to move ahead with the alternate, or not go with the alternate location, and go with their original proposed location. They're recommending that we may want to consider the applicant to actually have or structural engineering plans and details.
Correct, that's right.
So I guess my question is that, do we need to agree that we stick to the original location, and then they have to actually then provide that technical detail?
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
If I could speak, you have a statutory obligation to conduct a public hearing. The scheduling of that does not intimate in any way that you're endorsing the original layout proposed. It'll still be a matter that you'll evaluate these considerations that are presented on plan and discussed tonight by Margaret. So that'll be subject to further investigation on the board's part, I presume, in advance of the public hearing, and you'll also have the benefit possibly of any public comment that might result. So you scheduling the public hearing does not suggest in any way that you're prepared to approve the special permit. It's merely that you're trying to satisfy a statutory requirement for the application in front of you.
Okay.
And I can tell you that I had a conversation earlier this week with the building inspector, Greg Warner, and he has permitted this type of pond elsewhere in the town, not the two that I spoke of last time. And it is a pond, it's not a pool, and I have added notes to the plan that says the walls have to be structurally, they have to be permitted, which means a structural engineer has to design them and sign the plans and get a building permit from the building department.
Thank you. Cheryl, on dates available for a public hearing, what would we have?
It would be the next meeting, the 20th of
The
November.
20th. Any comment from the board or discussion regarding having or not having a public meeting for, that would be November 20th? It's just before Thanksgiving, right? Week before. Week before
It's
Thanksgiving.
our regular month.
Any discussion, any concerns? Do we have to vote on that, Steve?
Well, yeah,
So we need a motion for,
you do. I thought
Okay.
you made a motion, we're waiting for a second.
okay. Would anybody like to second that motion?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Laura. All in favor? Say aye. Any noes? No? Abstentions? No? Okay. So December 20th, November 20th, thank you. Thank you for the clarification. Okay, thank you, Margaret. Okay, next on new business, Manitoga, the Russell Wright design. We're going to get an initial presentation.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Oh, hi. My name is Jane Ilyasova, and this is,
Ruchira Sardesai.
and we both work at River Architects, and we're here to represent two projects, but we'll start with Manitoga.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Thanks for taking time to talk with us today. This is the planning board application for Manitoga Russell Wright Design Center, and specifically the landscape pavilion that we are planning for. A lot of you must have actually visited this place. It was built in 1970s, I think, by Russell Wright. This is the Dragon Home. Can you see my cursor? Sorry about that. So this is the Dragon Rock home and the studio, and we are planning to build a landscape pavilion somewhere around here, which also matches the architectural style of the home. So to start with the access, this is the access for the pavilion. It is being built on an existing concrete foundation, which is already there. So we are not increasing any impervious area on the plot. The plot is almost 40 acres. This orange hatch that you see is the scenic protection overlay, which we were asked to show in our plans, which was told to us in the pre-application meeting comments. So it is not overlapping with anything that we are doing. So moving on to the next page. So this is a more zoomed in version of the plan. So you can see the extent of the plot. And since this is a very complex site, we had to decide which is the front yard, which is the side, and which is the rear. So we got that marked by Mr. Greg here during our pre-application meeting. So we are actually looking at the side yard now, where our project is being built. So this is the existing concrete foundation that I was talking about, over which we are going to build the landscape pavilion. And another thing we want to add is a ADA accessible path to a viewing gallery overlooking the quarry. So it is basically, purpose of the landscape pavilion is for the staff to get a place to conduct their landscaping activities like plant propagation, workshops and other educational programming to support the studio and the house. And then to make it more accessible, since this is already a very steep and rocky terrain, to add to the public accessibility element of it, we want to propose a ADA path which goes from the existing driveway to the viewing gallery over here. And that actually comes in the wetland setback area, so that is one of the reasons we were applying for planning board. And then also, if you look at the bulk dimension table, you will see that the project is within the 50 feet setback in the side yard. So this is the existing site. Like you can see, this is the existing concrete foundation. This is the existing rubble masonry, which we are retaining. And you can see it is not very finished. They are just using it as is to store wheelbarrows and kayaks and composting pits. So we want to really give them a proper finished shed to work out of. And this is the location of the quarry pool. This is where we are proposing the viewing gallery to be placed. And this is the style of the existing Dragon Rock home, which we are also continuing with the landscape pavilion. So as you can see to the right here, that is a wooded area. And one of the comments we received during our pre-application meeting was, according to provision 17565D, we were supposed to maintain it in its natural state. So that is also what we are doing here. And this is just wetlands map, and the floodplain map to show that we are not coming under the flood region or anything. So this is the site plan for the landscape pavilion. This here is the covered enclosed area. Everything else is actually semi-open. And this is also a green roof, so we are actually reducing the amount of impervious area and water running away from the site. This is the floor plan. We have the propagation area on the left, which is open to sky. We have the workspace on the right, which is also open to sky. We have provided hose bibs for them, but there is no wastewater line that will be provided here. And the middle portion is the enclosed area with the green roof on top, which is the storage and tool storage area for the landscape staff to work from. Yes, there will be electrical coming to this shed. This is the ADA path I was talking about, which will be built with a ADA compliant material. And this is the elevation. Elevation of the shed, and then also extending to where we want to build the viewing gallery over the quarry. And you can see it. The style would be similar to the existing home. So similar type of overhangs and similar type of exterior siding. That's it. Let me know if you guys have any questions.
Any board members have questions?
I just have one. The deed indicates that the owner of the property is Manitoga, Inc. The application says that the owner is an Allison Cross, and the survey that's attached to the papers is a survey made to the Open Space Institute Land Trust.
Okay.
Could you explain what's going on with that?
So Alison Cross is one of the board members who has been handling the project. So she is the one who reached out to us and we are working along with her. She's the point person who is managing it for the trust. But survey is something we got from them, so we are not sure whose name is on it and why they are all different.
So you're saying that Allison Cross is a board member of the Manitoga, Inc.?
Yeah.
And
Does OSI own it? Own the land? Does OSI have an easement or?
OSI?
Yeah, what's OSI's role? Do they have to give you permission to do it? Usually they do.
Oh,
Is OSI the?
Oh, Open Space Institute, sorry.
Oh,
Open Space Survey Institute,
who has the survey?
Yeah.
who has the name?
Following
I know.
up on his question, that's all.
Oh, yeah. So we got this survey from them because I think they performed work on it before and they had the survey in their system. So that is where, yeah.
It's not that they don't own
No.
it or have an easement?
No.
Okay.
Steve, just had a curiosity question. When do all this really pertain to when they go for their permitting? Or is this something that we should be concerned with?
It's important to make sure that people who come before this board and ask for approvals are in fact authorized to do them. Now, you have an application submitted by, let me see here. Bob, who'd you say signed the application?
Allison Cross.
Allison Cross is the applicant. I have the applicant listed as Manitoga. I'm not sure why exactly. And you have a deed that says that the owner is Manitoga, Inc. So I don't see any reason why you can't go forward with it, but the applicant at some point, here's the application, thank you. Yeah. It says I, Allison Cross, apply. It's probably Allison Cross on behalf of Manitoga, Inc. So you either need to submit a letter, or maybe you want to amend your first page just to indicate that Allison Cross is doing this on behalf of Manitoga, Inc.
Okay.
That would straighten that out. I'm not worried if the survey is to a different person, if the survey is certified as it is here by Beatty and Watson. it's something that the board can use. It doesn't have to be to the record owner. But you might want to, Bob makes a good point. You ought to straighten that out.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Steve.
Quick thing that, I did take a look at the deeds, because I was curious about the issue. There is some sort of an easement for trails by Open Space Institute Land Trust. You might want to look at that. I don't know to what extent that affects anything here, but there is some sort of an easement.
Are these more concerns with dotting i's and crossing t's type of thing? Okay, thank you. Ron, would you just recap what your memorandum really covered, just so we have a better understanding of the project, maybe?
Sure. As the applicant indicates, this is a very small pavilion they're proposing on the property. It's being proposed within an area where there was a former building. There's an existing concrete slab which will be utilized for the side of the building. So there's very little site disturbances that are planned. The pavilion itself will be comprised of both workshop areas and storage areas. It's a combination of enclosed and open space, so they'll have some workbenches in it, but it's a very small project. So there's a variety of things the board wants to initially accomplish. First off, you'd want to declare this as a minor project, given the very minor size of it. Secondarily, it qualifies as a Type 2 seeker action, and you should so classify that tonight. From what I could see, there were very little issues with any outside agency interest in the project. It's such a small project, you don't typically refer it to fire department, for example. It is on Route 9D, so a referral to Putnam County Planning should be accomplished. And then the board should determine whether you wish to have a site inspection of the project, or you might consider it minor enough on an existing slab that doesn't warrant review, since there won't be much disturbance to the property. One last issue of note that the board wants to consider is that given the very small size, location, there's no public hearing that is mandatory, that's required for the project, so a public hearing would be discretionary. And for very small projects, the board does have the ability to just waive a public hearing. And you could so move to seek a resolution for the next meeting if you don't see any significant areas of concern or issues that you may want to further inspect in the field.
So we could proceed for tonight to get the resolution in the works, then?
Yeah, after you take the few statutory matters that you need to do.
So we have some procedural items to go
Right.
through, and then, okay, very good.
Right.
Thanks, Ron. Anything else on that, or?
No, that covers it.
Great, thank you very much. I'm sorry?
Just a couple things real quick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. Ron's memo had mentioned that you may want to make a conservation board referral because of proximity to the on-site pond. And the other thing I'd say is, you have a 230, you have a county planning referral here. County planning is authorized to make sometimes binding comments on these applications, which you would be required to incorporate unless you voted by a supermajority to override into your resolution. You also haven't seen the property yet, so I appreciate Ron saying that you could, if you wanted, direct that a resolution be prepared for next meeting. But this board almost never does that. I think of one time when you've done it. You usually do require a public hearing. I could see where you'd waive it in this instance, but to jump ahead and say, let's have a resolution ready to go for the next meeting at this early stage, I think would be, my recommendation would be that that's premature.
Okay, very good, Steve, I appreciate that. Okay. Can I get a motion to take the first step of declaring this as a minor project?
I make a motion.
Second?
A second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Okay, passed. Second thing would be declaring this as a type 2 seeker action. Can I get a motion on that?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
A second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Another motion regarding Conservation Board, and can they be the same motion, Steve? Okay. And the Putnam County Planning, and we'll hold off, I guess, with the fire department? Is that what your recommendation?
There's very little project to be reviewed by
As
the
a
fire
courtesy,
department.
I mean, that would be Garrison Fire Department?
This would be,
So we could reach out to them if they
if you
decline?
wish, you can make the referral.
Okay. Can I have a motion for those 3 referrals, the Conservation, the Putnam County Planning, and the Fire Department?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Big question now, do we want to have a site inspection? Board members, anybody make a motion for or?
I'm personally very familiar with the site. My daughter worked there for almost 4 years. So I don't need one, but,
I got enough information off the plans myself, so we're not going to have a site inspection then scheduled. All in agreement?
yes.
Is that correct, Steve? I mean,
There's no motion for a site walk, there's no site
Okay,
walk.
great. Thank you. Now, public hearing. This is always the big one. Can I get a motion for a public hearing? To have? Nope.
Well,
Steve?
it's a minor project. I think they can waive it, Ron, isn't that the way that it
Absolutely.
works?
Yeah,
But
they
I think they have to make a motion one way or the other on
To waive it.
waiving it
Okay.
or not. I don't think they can just not make a determination. If you want to make a motion to waive it, that's fine.
To make a motion to waive it.
Waive the public hearing.
Okay, can I get a motion to waive the public hearing for this project?
I'm wondering if we should, just on the very off chance that the Conservation Board has anything to say about it, should we wait till next month and then move to waive the public hearing, or, I don't know. Otherwise, I would vote to waive the public hearing, but it seems a little bit, if the Conservation Board has something to say about the fact that it's near the pond, then we've already waived the public hearing.
Ron, any input on that, on your?
You're making a referral to the Conservation Board, so if there's anything they wish to offer, it'll come back through a response from that
So
referral.
if we have, if we don't have a,
Doesn't require a public hearing for
Oh.
Conservation Board to comment.
okay. So we don't need, I just want for my own clarity, we don't need to have a public hearing. We're making a referral to the Conservation Board, and we're covered with that. Steve, I guess that's more
You're
your
going to get
question.
input from the Conservation Board regardless of whether or not you hold a public hearing. Public hearing would allow members of the public to comment on it, but you can make a referral, as you have to in the case of county planning, and it will come back to you, and you'll consider it, and you'll incorporate whatever you think is appropriate from it into your decision, regardless of whether or not you hold a public hearing.
Okay, thank you. So as it stands, we are not having a public hearing. Oh, we need a motion. I'm sorry. Can I have a motion to not have a public meeting? Public hearing, excuse me.
I would make that motion.
Okay, second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And Steve, getting back to preparing a resolution, we're still pretty premature.
Look,
I mean-
if you want to have a resolution prepared and ready to go, you can. I'm just saying, if you do that and you get comments from the planning board, right, the conservation board that you want to incorporate, or you get comments from county planning, you're going to have Ron redraft the resolution for the month after that. And maybe that's not a big deal. Maybe you won't get any comments that change it. So, it depends on how you want to play it as far as that goes. Since you're not having a public hearing, you're not having a site walk, unless you're concerned, as I was, that you may get some comments which change the resolution, you can ask him to prepare a draft. Like I say, the worst that happens is he has to amend it, change the terms if you get comments that are, that alter what you have in the draft.
Okay. Ron, is that okay with you if we wind up having to make an adjustment?
Certainly, I'll do whatever the board wishes.
Okay.
Not going to be difficult.
But we're not holding up hoops or anything like that, so, all right. That winds up being a matter of a motion to, okay. Who would like to make a motion to have Ron prepare a resolution for the next meeting? Thank you. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Laura. All in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you. And I believe that is it for this matter, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you.
Keep in mind, you need to submit something to straighten out the ownership issue.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is 230 Jaycox Road, and I believe you're still up there.
Yes. Hi again. Sorry, let me just pull up the drawings.
Could you speak a little bit more into the...
Yes, sorry, let me just pull up the drawings.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi, thanks again for having us here for the site plan application for the Humm residence. So this property is located at 230 Jaycox Road, and it is currently a mostly a one-story residence with one two-story section and a basement. The property has an existing tennis court, an in-ground pool with a pool house, a shed, and a koi pond. So our project is to demolish the existing house and the existing pool house, reuse as much of the existing foundation and footings, and rebuild a new home for the family. So the new owners purchased the house and the property about a year ago. It's Sarah Goetzman and Jesse Humm. Oh, yep. Yep, Sarah Goetzman and Jesse Humm. Jesse is a emergency care pediatrician, and Sarah used to work in the art world, but now is a stay-at-home mom. They have 2 kids, and they're building this house as their forever home with the priority of doing passive house level energy performance and just doing the best for, you know, not doing bad for the environment. So we're planning a high energy performing home for them. So the existing property is a flag lot. So all of the setbacks are 50 feet because it's a rear flag lot. So here's the existing plan, not the survey, but our existing site plan to show the different square footages of driveway, hardscape, and main house. So we're planning in the renovation to remove an extra hardscape that we feel maybe is not needed, like reducing the amount of driveway. We're demolishing the existing pool shed and just kind of curbing a little bit of that extra hardscape and extending the footprint of the main house. But again, reusing as much of the slab and the foundations as possible, just extending it in a few directions. So here's the new site plan to show the area of change. So because we're increasing the amount of bedrooms, we'll need to replace the septic system. So we have plans for a new septic tank to accommodate the new 6-bedroom capacity. We have we have an office upstairs that we'll have to go through with the Department of Health and see if they feel that that office should be included in the bedroom count. So as it stands now, that office is not included because we have 6 other bedrooms. So it's a 6-bedroom home, 7-bathroom home. So the area of disturbance is 0.71 acres. So it's below the threshold of needing a SWIP application. We don't have any overlays except for the aquifer.
Yes.
Except for the aquifer, so that's the only one here. And in terms of the main house and most of the disturbance, we're within the 50-yard setback. The only thing that's within the 50 yards is the shed. There's an existing shed here that we're planning to just clean up and take down some of the extra walls. They want to open it up and expose the structure, but still have an enclosed roof, and it's going to be kind of like a music performing shed for themselves and their friends. So that's within the 50-yard setback, but the footprint is not going to change, and we're going to reuse as much of what's there as possible. And the size of it is under the 150 square feet. So the project, I'll just take you through some of the plans. So this is a zoom in of the site plan. So the new house is largely actually in the same shape as the old one, except for two extension areas, even though it's pretty much a demo and a rebuilding. So there's one newer area here and another one right here. Those are the main areas of extension. Otherwise, it's mostly a one-story home like it was, with the two-story over a garage staying actually in the same place as the old one. So there's a walkout basement on one side and just kind of a walkout patio, and all of these surfaces, except for the pool, will be, and the driveway, are going to be permeable. So we're going to do some pavers that have gravel in between so that water can drain, and we're not adding to the impervious surface area. So taking through the demo plans just to show the general size of the existing. The house was built in portions, so like a portion, the originals maybe from the 70s, and then another portion was added in the 80s, and another portion added in the 90s, and then there's this solarium on the house right now that you actually can't step into because you just get mold in your lungs instantly. So the house needs to just be rebuilt to make the envelope, the thermal envelope and the air tightness in keeping with passive house standards, which we're shooting for. So we're demoing just to the slab. This is, again, the existing first floor that we're demolishing, except for the garage will retain that slab, and then the existing second floor. So you can kind of see in the new plans, the area is actually staying similar to what it was. Oops, sorry. So this is the basement. There's going to be a play area for the kids, that walkout basement area, a bathroom, and then a guest suite because they have family come and stay with them. There's some mechanical spaces down here and storage, and then you can kind of see the outline of the building above. And then the first floor, the extensions were kind of in this primary bedroom area, and then a little bit here in the kitchen mudroom, but otherwise the footprint is generally what it was, what it is currently. So there's 3 kids' bedrooms they're planning on having a third kid, 2 kids' bathrooms with a powder room for their guests, a kitchen, the garage is staying in the same place. There's a living room, like a music listening room, and their primary bedroom here with a bathroom. And then upstairs, again, staying in a similar orientation, there's an office, which, again, we have to go through with the Department of Health and see if they would consider this office or bedroom, and then a guest bedroom here with a bathroom. And then we have this kind of kids' attic play area above the kids' bedrooms where you can kind of crawl around and have skylights, and it should be very sweet for the kids and safe. And then that's the roof plan. So again, those extensions extensions to the existing footprint were here and here. So here's some elevations. For the exterior materials, we're planning on doing a galvanized aluminum standing seam roof. The reflectivity should actually prevent the roof from overheating because it will be reflecting a lot of the light and the heat back. And then the siding is going to be a pine or a spruce, thermally modified, just untreated siding, so it'll weather naturally. A lot of, I guess, just vertical boards pretty much. And then the base will be a gray stucco base to match kind of the tone of the roof. And then here are the other elevations. And then there's a screened porch that has a transparent polycarbonate roof and just screens all around into the back garage, or into the backyard area, which is the rendering on the first page. And then we have some sections. Again, we're over insulating. We're shooting for beyond code minimum targets, and we're energy modeling the whole house to make sure that we can meet and exceed passive house requirements so that their energy bill is low. We're taking this house off of fossil fuels. It's going to be all electric, and we're hoping to add solar depending on, how many. Hopefully we won't need to cut down trees to do solar, so we're still evaluating whether or not solar is the best, because they want to keep as many trees as possible on this property, which is a big reason why we're keeping the house kind of around its existing footprint so that it can minimize tree disturbance, because right now it's very secluded and it's not, the neighbors, you don't really see the neighbors, and I have some site photos to show kind of the different tree conditions so that you can see that it's really kind of a secluded lot, so should be minimal visual change for the neighbors. And yeah, door and window schedule, and I can just share some photos as well. So this is an aerial view of the site taken with a drone. So there's the existing tennis court that we're not doing anything to, the existing pool that we're just taking out this pool house and kind of cutting back on the amount of paved area. And the house is largely staying in the same-ish orientation. We're just extending the kitchen kind of right here, like I was showing, and then that primary bedroom is going in this area, and we're getting rid of that moldy solarium and just planting a tree there instead. And again, here's kind of the extent of the trees around. We're cutting back on this driveway, and I have some additional site photos just to give you a sense of the property and the area around. This is that existing koi pond that they're keeping and they love. The existing well is around here actually, and it should be sufficient for the current use and should be sufficient for the future use. The civil engineering is designing the new septic system, so we're planning and working through that with the Department of Health. And then that's that pool house that's being demolished again. This is kind of around the back. This is the driveway that is gonna get cut back as well. And some photos of the family and James around the property. Thank you so much, and please let me know if you have any questions or comments. I'm happy to answer.
Is this the old Milner property?
Yes.
Ron, could you elaborate on your memorandum, please? Sure. Regarding the project.
Well, the site is obviously is this existing residentially developed property. Project will involve a complete tear down of the existing structure and building of a new larger structure, generally in the same area. Again, there's a variety of issues that you want to deal with at the initial meeting. First, planning board considers residential projects to always be deemed a minor project, so that should be done at this juncture. Secondarily, you want to address your seeker responsibilities. And again, the seeker regulations specify that 1, 2, or 3 family residences are deemed type 2 seeker action, so it should be so classified tonight. That'll conclude your environmental responsibilities. Specific referrals that are necessary involves the Putnam County Department of Health. It's a clear reference to the expanded number of bedrooms that will exist on the expanded house, so that referral should be made at this time. Then you should determine whether you wish to have a site inspection just to evaluate potential environmental impacts of the construction proposed.
That's it, Ron?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, obviously, with the size of the structure, you'd want to make referral to the fire department should they wish to comment.
Very good, thank you, Ron. Okay, with the procedural items that Ron had discussed, can I get a motion to make this, or call this a minor project?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Laura. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Joe. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, anybody not? I guess not. Second item would be regarding a motion to declare this as a type 2 seeker action. Can I get a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Laura. Second? Thank you, Heidi. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You. On the referrals, we do need the Putnam County Health Department, Ron?
Yes. Right.
Okay. And as, we should be sending it to the North Highlands Fire Department. Can that, Steve, can they be done at the same motion?
Make it a single motion.
Okay, can I get a motion for those two referrals?
I'll move.
Thank you, Heidi. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Laura. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Site inspection. Can I get a motion to set up for a site inspection? Thank you, Heidi. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Laura. All in favor? Aye. We need a date.
Sunday, November 2nd or the 9th.
December 2nd?
No, November.
No, I'm sorry.
You're jumping ahead.
All over the place. I'm good for either one, so. Any comments? Second. November 2nd for the site visit?
We typically do it at 9:30 on a Sunday.
Okay.
So-
We need somebody there from,
I'll be there 9:30.
okay. Also, what we would like to have
But we haven't.
would be the,
Second.
also what we would like to have would be the additions staked out, so visually we could see, have a good idea, and any other components that are not there now that would be there, so we could have a quick inspection on that. And it starts, be at 9:30, we'll be there.
Do you need a surveyor to stake them out, or how, like, exact do they need to be?
You don't need to have a surveyor,
Okay, we
but they,
can go
we
out
want
there
them to
and
be
measure.
relatively accurate. If it's 15 feet, we want it to show 15 feet.
Sounds
Okay?
good.
Sorry, Dennis, was that for the 2nd or the 9th?
That was for the 2nd of November.
I think especially for the extensions.
Yes.
Yep.
Do you have a topo of the site, or is it,
Yep. Absolutely.
it's fairly flat ground, right?
It's fairly flat, and it dips down kind of by the primary bedroom. We actually suspect that it might have been mounded up for the existing septic location. Here we are. It kind of, it's mounded up like right around here. And the existing septic is right around here, where we're removing it. And so yeah, it dips down and then it continues to go down. Here's a lower point and then it picks up a little bit, but it generally slopes away from this direction and then it slopes up towards this back area.
And you said it was below an acre, for you don't need a SWIP?
Yeah, don't
So
need a
there'll be
SWIP.
no sediment erosion control measures?
We were planning during the construction to, of course, do the silt fencing and, but in terms of filing for the SWIP application, we don't meet the threshold for that. But in general, we're removing the amount of hardscape, and we have a civil engineer that's gonna work through the grading and ensure that, everything is draining properly and as planned.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Another item would be, do we want to have a public hearing regarding this project? Any discussion, any comments? Can I get a motion for a public hearing?
Is it needed?
it's not needed.
And very, very often on houses or structures of this size, you tend to want to have a public hearing, just in case there are neighbors that wish to speak and give comment to the board. It is not required, but you very typically do it. Most recently, there was a very large structure on Old Albany Post Road where you had a similar issue. And you did have a public hearing for that project as well.
Again, any motion for a public hearing? Okay, thank you, second. Thank you, Laura. All in favor? Aye. Whoop.
Dennis, when are you gonna hold the public hearing? Next month?
Well,
we
it would
do it
be at
next?
either the
Yeah,
November or December.
typically what the board does is, if you're having a public, or if you're having a site inspection, is the very next meeting, the applicant is invited back just to present your comments on the site inspection, should there be any plan revisions necessary. And then the subsequent planning board meeting is typically when you schedule a public hearing, when the plans are more finalized,
So December.
if you wish.
Okay.
yeah.
So,
what is-
when's the December?
It would,
When is the December
Depends on our attorney.
December.
it'd be December 18th.
Fun play with you.
Any comments on timing on that from the board members?
Are we moving the dates?
What you're doing Santa Claus at the office, I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
It's pretty close.
So you're saying wait for it?
Yeah.
Dennis, if I could, I'm sorry, Bob, but you've had a motion and a second, you scheduled the public hearing for December 18th. We're gonna come back in November, and if there are issues, then you can adjourn the public hearing and say, we're not gonna hold it until January or what have you. If everything's good to go, then the applicant has the public hearing all set up for December. So I think you're pretty well protected in terms of, you know,
Okay, public hearing on December 18th. Okay, I think that is it. Anybody have any questions for the applicant before we leave? I'd like to look for a motion for adjournment. Thank you. We-
Some extensions of time or something like
For,
45 days, there was something on the,
that was a letter that came in today,
Oh, the
Krasinski.
Krasnicki?
That's just sort
yeah,
of an ongoing.
Krasnicki isn't actually an extension of time. Krasnicki is just that the applicants say they consent to an additional amount of time
Thank you very
for.
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to us all night.
Are there actually going in the pond? I'm curious.
There are plans.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know. They seemed okay when we saw them. When we first saw them, they were larger, so they sleep.
I've seen, actually, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, my daughter and I
Before
saw
everybody
a hawk.
leaves, can,
I'm sorry.
before everybody leaves, can we get a motion for adjournment? Thank you, Heidi. Second.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, bye, guys.
Anyway, we.